gonna go bang some nookers, David?
We're gonna try.
Yeah.
You never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you would think that with 6 dozen sand shrimp and about 8 jars of eggs, we could pull this off.
No, we got more than that.
Do not attempt to do this at home. These men are professional back bouncers. Unless, of course, they don't take their medication.
Yeah. Yeah, I use several different cures throughout the day.
You get them separated in little containers, or?
Well, I kind of keep them, eyeball it, keep it a little bit separate, you know, looking at it, you know. I usually cut up, you know, 2, 3, 4 different cures of eggs, and then I can switch them up as we fish a hole, you know, give the fish one scent, and then give the fish another scent, and so on. You know, sometimes you'll catch a fish on one bait, or catch a couple fish on one bait, and then the bite will die down, and you switch them to another cure, and then you can pick up, you know, maybe another bonus fish or something out of it.
Oh yeah. Which one will it be? Today I'm just running a shrimp and egg cocktail. We're actually kind of doing a little back bouncing here. We've got a couple of spin and glows on there, and then if you look up further you can see there's a sliding weight system here. The dropper's only about a foot long. Get out of there. And just basic back bouncing techniques are being used here today. Nothing real fancy. I do like these little flash wing spin and glows. They're a nice little lure to put on above your shrimp. And then a nice little cup here to keep from getting too much mess in the boat. Yeah, I know. Boats are meant to be messy, but we'll save that for the blood. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to drop the system with the weight and everything into the water. And I've already got the spool open in free mode. And once I'm just going to put it in the water, and then I'm going to let it slide down to the bottom of the river here. See that? It hits the bottom, it stops. And then I'm just going to pick it up and slightly bounce the tip of the pole, kind of like a pendulum action, feeding a tiny bit of line out as it goes. And this is going to allow the bait and the system that we showed you to bounce back into the meat of this hole here, which you can see looks really good. So what I do is I just bounce it out and let a little bit of line out each time and get it back there a little ways. And eventually it'll get to a point where it kind of comfortably bounces for a while, and we'll just kind of like sit in that position and feed just a little bit of line out and try and bounce it back a little bit at a time into the faces of those fish that are sitting in that hole. You see how there's feeding just a tad bit of line? When it gets back so far that you can't really bounce it back anymore, what you can do is just bounce it for a couple more seconds, but then after a while go ahead and bring it back in, drop it down, and bounce through the hole again. Mine's still going back, so I'm just kind of feeding that hole still. I'm still feeding it into the hole. If you get a bite, just stop for a second and feel what's on the other end. This braided line really helps out because it's a straight connection to those fish. No belly in the line, no stretch. It's just like it's like, you know, just being connected to them with a telephone wire. Woo! Yeah, tried to get the bite, but have to get quick. There we go.
You're interfering with my fishing here.
Well, we finally got one here. Took a little bit of time, but changed eggs. I changed to a different bait. And put fresh bait into the next hole we moved into, and it didn't take but about 5 bounces and 20 feet before this one picked it up. And I took David's advice and fed this fish as best I could. I tried to get him fed. And boy, we let him go a long way. He was probably swimming back to the ocean before I decided to actually do something about it. But I bet he's got that bait down pretty good. So I guess maybe I probably want to let you over here, huh?
I'll come in at the last moment.
Okay. He's pretty strong. He's taking a little bit of battling. And then there he is right there.
Yeah.
Alright. Nice bright fish. So he's definitely hung well. He's got it in there pretty good. Fin goes all the way down his throat. Alright. Look at that. That's good 15, 16 pounder. Nice job, Andy.
Nice job, Matt.
I think he's bigger than I figured.
Yeah, that's nice.
He's got it swallowed down in there. I'll hold him up. Yeah, he swallowed it pretty good. Here we go. All right. Back bouncing shrimp and eggs. Got the old little flash wing in there, and just a dandy fish. Look at that. Well, now I've got to go ahead and put him on a tag. Your turn, guys. Here I want to show you the sliding system we have here. This end is going to my leader with the egg and shrimp cocktail I just showed you, and then it's attached to a braided main line here, and you can see that the dropper kind of slides back and forth, and it's got a couple of beads to act as a bumper. Now if you're wondering what the strange looking barrel swivel is, that's to prevent any kind of twist while you're fishing, and it keeps the leader nice and straight. And then of course we've got, if you go up the line here a little bit, we've got the dropper here with a clip that we can just attach whichever weight to that snap swivel. When we move into a new hole and need a different style or a different size of weight, we can immediately switch it within seconds and get ready to go. In this instance, I happen to be using this 2-ounce cannonball, which just clips right back on there like that. There, it's ready to go. Real simple system. This is nothing fancy, it's just a typical back bouncing rig that will work just about anywhere you're back bouncing for Chinook. Kind of a full-on monster cocktail with the spinning glow on the top. You see that? That's what the last fish I caught here took, and he really wanted it, and he took it pretty deep. Actually, this is a froggy fish. Now, one of the most important things when you're on a trip like this,
make sure you have a rounded, all the food groups.
That's right. You got to have peanut butter cracker or peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's very important that you have something with peanut butter in it.
And party like a rock star.
That's right. That's the most important thing about a trip like this. If you don't eat right, you're not going to catch any fish. One of the first guides I ever fished with told me that the secret to catching fish was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So it looks like it's Andy's turn now. This is your basic shrimp and egg hors d'oeuvre. If I hadn't caught a fish, I think I'd probably be eating that for lunch or dinner tonight. Yummy. This is just such hard work. I don't know if I can take any more of this.
really nice water now.
Don't tell him I showed you this. We're going to try fishing a few plugs now for a while and see if we can get maybe a difference in presentation, and just see if they'll take a plug instead of the back bouncing, which seems to have been pretty well done by 80 boats gone down the river today. So we're just going to kind of give this a try for a while and see what happens. I'm going to let it back. They've got a knot on the line that's exactly at 65 feet, and I'm going to let it back until that knot is at the tip of the pole. There's the knot right there. That's 65 feet. We're going to let that out to the tip of the pole. There we go. You can see that quick fish is perfectly working. Well, was. There it goes.
There's fish. There he is. There you go, Andy. Oh, your anchor's down? Okay.
My rods are kind of in the way there too.
You want that?
You sure? I can take that rod, David. Here's the net.
Good thing you got those Siwash hooks in there.
Oh, with the little trebles?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we tried back bouncing through here a couple times, and it turns out that the quick fish rod on the outside of the boat gets a dandy hit. Pretty much just buries in the holder.
A little fight for 9,000.
Ideally, Matthew, if you could pull us that farther in. It's not quite ready yet. He's under that boat too bad.
Yeah.
All right.
You're on the board.
All right, Andy.
Let's go up over the beach there then now.
Got it. Yep, that quick fish did the trick that time.
I think we did.
Looks like he was hooked pretty good.
Yeah. Right where you want them. Corner of the mouth. And that's what happens when you wait for the rod to bury. Perfect hook set.
That's a K11, right?
Yep. K11X. Howdy.
Do you think that boats, really scare these fish or affect these fish when you're drifting over top of holding fish?
No, I don't. No, I've had them, just like the one we just saw a little bit ago. I mean, they just slide out of the way. I mean, you're in the drift boat. Usually I see them 3 or 4 feet from the oar tips. They just kind of slide out of the way. Even in my power boat, when I can idle through a tail out with my 200 motor, and they'll only slide out of the way like 10 feet. And they don't bolt or take off or anything. They just slide out of the way, and they'll slide back in.
What do you think, Andy?
I personally like to, after I get motor through a hole, to come right back through there and drop my lead down. And I've had more often than not the area I just motored through, drop down, have a fish pick it up within within feet of my turning propeller.
Yeah, and now we got a nice fish just a little while ago in a hole that at least 20 boats have been through, huh?
Yeah.
So maybe there's some proof in that.
I think people give the fish a little more credit than the fish deserve.
We don't spook at every airplane and car that drives past us.
I do.
Yeah. Only when I don't take my medication.
Totally.
Well, look at my tip there. He's chewing it. He's chewing it. See that?
Yep.
He's taking it. I'm letting him take line. Look at my spool. I'm still letting him eat it. Come on. I'm letting him take line. I'm letting him take line a little bit. Letting him take line. I'm going to tighten my thumb down and see if he can load up that rod, but I'll let him take out a little bit of line like this. There he is.
There it is. Yep.
There he is. Just like that. Wait till he's got the rod. I'm past you. Little one. I would say let's concentrate that battery and lay it off. Small enough. You know they taste it good. You know, the other day when we were fishing, 3 of our 8 fish took it so deep they had internal bleeding, tore up their liver and all that stuff, and they were bleeding out of their butthole. He's not ready. That's just a little one. Jerky man. Bring him on this side. Go up and down. More people lose fish netting than anything else. Just want to go too soon. Right. What I like to do is I get my lead in my hand so that Hold on. I'm gonna cut my video. Romer. Nice.
Good job, Dave.
Thank you. Let me
He swallowed it. He was bleeding from the gills while David was fighting that. Just bleeding away. Blood in the boat. That's fine. I'm getting a picture of you right now with him. See how deep that one is.
This one, yours took it into cans.
Ready to rock?
Welcome to the world of video. Take 3.
Rockstar, drink of fishing champions. David Johnson. He looks very dead.
This is what happens when you launch off 2 feet from a boat ramp and the back of the boat goes under the water.
There's quite a bit of water.